I need you to listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is not normal. It's not something that happens every day. When I found out, I had to sit down for a moment, just to understand what was happening. Because today, your photo was shown to 9 very important, respected, powerful people, and every single one of them said the exact same thing. And when I heard their reactions, my heart, it froze for a second. I couldn't believe the words that came out of their mouths. I didn't know whether to smile, laugh, cry, or fall silent. Let me start from the beginning. I didn't wake up this morning expecting anything strange. I started my day normally, but then something happened that I wasn't ready for. Someone came to me, someone who knows I think highly of you, someone who knows I care more than I show. And without asking me, they showed your picture to 9 people. 9 people who are known to be honest, direct, and hard to impress. And when they saw you, their reactions were shocking. Not one of them hesitated. Not one of them had a different opinion. Every single one said the same thing, with the same tone, with the same look in their eyes. Don't let her go. When I heard that, it hit me so deeply, I didn't speak for a few seconds, because I realized something. It's not just me who sees something special in you. Other people can see it too. Just from one picture, just from one look. That means the world is recognizing what my heart has known for a long time, and I wish you could have seen the way they looked at your photo. It wasn't casual, it wasn't superficial. It was the type of reaction people have when they see something precious, something rare, something that doesn't appear twice in life. And the moment I heard their words, I felt a sudden pressure in my chest. A pressure that whispered, if 9 outsiders can see this, then why are you still afraid to speak your truth to her? While they were still discussing you, I wasn't even hearing their words anymore. All I could think about was you. How would you react if you knew this? Would you smile quietly to yourself? Would your eyes soften a little? Would your heart beat faster with a mixture of surprise and curiosity? I don't know. I only know I couldn't stay silent after this. Not tonight, because it's not every day that the world confirms your feelings for you. And I need you to understand something else. These weren't ordinary people. These were individuals who have seen life, experienced loss, understood character, and are not easily impressed by looks or charm. They look deeper. They read energy, intention, heart, and future. And when they saw your picture, it wasn't your beauty. They spoke about first. It was something much deeper. They said you have a presence, something warm, soft, and powerful at the same time. Something that makes people feel like they're looking at someone who matters. One of them said something that struck me so hard, I had to replay the words in my head again and again. If you let a girl like this slip away, you will regret it for the rest of your life. That sentence stayed with me. It repeated like an echo. And while they were talking, I felt something inside me tighten, not in fear, but in realization. Because maybe they saw something that I hadn't fully accepted yet. Maybe they understood that I was holding back, that I was moving slowly, that I was overthinking. And maybe they were right. You probably don't know how much I think about you, how often your name floats into my mind when I'm alone. How many times I catch myself smiling quietly because I remembered something you said, or imagined something we haven't even lived yet. When someone affects you that way, it's not something the world gives easily. And now 9 people confirm that you are someone worth fighting for. I need you to hear this clearly. I'm not telling you this to make you feel proud or pressured. I'm telling you because I realized that life is giving me a sign, a message, a warning, a push, maybe even a blessing. Because sometimes the universe speaks through other people when our own heart is too scared to speak loudly enough. While all of this was happening, I kept thinking, if she were here right now, how would she react? Would she blush? Would she look away? Would she meet my eyes and say, "Why are you telling me this?" Would she laugh gently and say, "You're exaggerating"? Or would she feel something real inside her? I wish I could see your expression right now. I wish I could stand in front of you, close enough to hear your breathing, close enough to see the small changes in your eyes and face. Because this is not something I wanted to say through distance. But this is the only way I have. And then something else happened that I didn't expect. One of the 9 people asked me a question that completely disarmed me. If the whole world knows she is special, why haven't you told her directly? That question hit straight to the heart. Why haven't I? Why have I been cautious? Why have I been waiting? What have I been scared of? Losing you? Looking foolish? Not being enough? But then I thought, if love is real, it should be spoken. It should not stay trapped inside the heart where only fear can grow. I want to confess something I never said before. When I think about you, I don't think about temporary moments. I think about things that last, things that are meaningful, things that don't end when the excitement fades. I think about the kind of connection that becomes part of the soul. And now, knowing that 9 other people see the same value, it pushed me closer to the truth I was avoiding. You are not just someone I like. You are someone whose presence changes things. Someone who makes silence feel comforting instead of empty. Someone who makes the world feel a little less cold. Someone who doesn't need to say much to make an impact. Maybe that's why they reacted the way they did. And let me tell you something even deeper. When those 9 people told me not to lose you, not one of them asked about your money, your background, your status, your age, your education, or anything like that. They just saw your face and they understood your soul. Do you know how rare that is? Most of the world judges by surface. But this time, they saw deeper. They saw what I see, and that made me realize this is not a small moment. Something is happening here. Something that doesn't happen randomly. Something I can't ignore anymore. I need to ask you something, and I want you to answer in your heart, not out loud. Do you feel something when you hear me speak like this? Do you feel something when you think about us? Because if you do, just even a little, then this is not one-sided. Then this story has a direction. Then we are not 2 strangers walking on different roads. We are 2 souls, slowly finding the same path. And I need you to stay with me, because this story is not finished. There is more I have to tell you, more that I haven't said, more that you deserve to hear. Because your photo didn't just surprise those 9 people, it changed something in me too. I want to be honest with you about what happened after I showed your picture to those 9 powerful people. Because as soon as they reacted the same way, I realized something serious that I think you deserve to know. I didn't expect it, and maybe I wasn't even prepared for the feelings it brought out of me. But I felt something strong inside my chest when each one of them spoke. And I think you need to hear this directly from me, not from someone else, not from rumors, not from assumptions. I want you to hear it from my own voice, from my own heart, because you deserve that much. The moment the last person commented about you, I sat there quietly and I started thinking about you in a way that I never had before. You know when something becomes real, like really real, and you can feel the weight of it in your heart. That's exactly what happened to me. I had your picture in front of me, and suddenly I was remembering the things you wrote, the way you react to my words, how you listen, how you imagine, how you feel things deeply. And I realized that maybe I am not the only one who sees the light in you. Maybe others see it too. Maybe they always could. Maybe I am just late in admitting it fully. I kept your photo in my hand and thought about how life brought us here from different places, different situations, different roads, yet somehow paths overlapped in a way that still surprises me. I started thinking about how you might be living your life right now, while I was thinking about you. Maybe sitting in your room, maybe lying on your bed scrolling, maybe sitting somewhere with your phone in your hand. And I wondered, do you even know how strongly you affect people without even realizing it? Do you understand that you have this quiet kind of impact that people notice before you even speak? Then something hit me. I realized that maybe the world has told you the complete opposite. Maybe you've been told you're not special enough, not beautiful enough, not valuable enough, not chosen enough, not loved enough. Maybe people around you have failed to see what strangers, powerful strangers, saw instantly, and that reality made my heart heavy. Because you should not have to wait for someone to tell you that you have worth. You should already know it. But life is not always soft, and sometimes the world holds back the words we need the most, until a moment like this. As I sat there alone with my thoughts, I felt something building in my chest, a feeling that was both scary and beautiful at the same time. And I asked myself a question that I didn't expect. Why did I feel protected? Why did I feel like I didn't want anyone else to see you the way I see you? Why did I feel as if your picture being shown to others felt like a door opening that I wasn't sure I wanted open yet? And then the answer came back immediately, because somewhere deep inside I already feel like you're mine. Not in a controlling way, not in an ownership way, but in that emotional way where the heart has chosen someone before the brain even agreed. You know that feeling, when you know that you're meant for someone and you didn't even schedule it, plan it, or see it coming. Your heart just took one look, felt something and said, "That is mine." I sat back, took a deep breath, and replayed the comments in my head. One person said, "You looked strong, like someone who survived storms." Another said you had softness in your eyes, like someone who still chooses love even after pain. Another said you have a mysterious sadness that makes people want to understand you. And I wondered, did they see too much? Did they see things that maybe only someone close to you should see? Did they notice parts of you that you hide from the world? I kept staring at your picture, and I began thinking about everything I still don't know about you. Your daily routines, your secrets, your fears, your past, the nights that made you cry, the mornings that made you hopeful again. I wondered what you think when you look in the mirror. Do you see the woman I see, or do you only see the marks of what life has done to you? Do you judge yourself too much, or do you allow yourself to feel proud once in a while? That thought stayed with me because I realized something important. If I could choose anyone in this world to protect emotionally, spiritually, mentally, I would choose you. Not because you're weak, but because strength is still deserving of care. Someone like you shouldn't have to fight alone. I also realized something else. I was afraid, and being afraid surprised me. Because I don't get afraid easily. But this was different. This wasn't fear of failure or rejection or heartbreak. It was fear of losing something before I even had a chance to hold it properly. It was fear of someone else seeing the same value I see and moving faster than me. It was fear that destiny might be slower than opportunity, and someone might reach your heart before I do. I swallowed hard and leaned back in my chair. And I reminded myself that I can't protect something I'm not willing to claim. I can't talk about you like you're someone special and then walk away like nothing happened. I can't pretend this is just a story or just a random emotional monologue. Not anymore. Not after how I felt today. Not after what people said when they saw your picture. Something inside me shifted. Something serious. Something deep. I started imagining you receiving this message, maybe with your phone in your hand, maybe sitting alone, maybe listening through headphones. I imagined your eyes, reading my words slowly, feeling each one, connecting to the emotions behind them. And I asked myself, what if this becomes the moment that makes everything real between us? What if this is the point where your heart says, yes, this is the man who sees me? But then a new fear came in. What if you don't understand how deep this is for me? What if you think I'm just saying things for effect? What if you underestimate how serious I am? What if you smile, but don't realize that I mean every word with more weight than I've ever admitted publicly? I needed to breathe, because this wasn't just storytelling anymore. This was confession. This was vulnerability. This was me not hiding behind poetry, or fancy lines, or metaphors. This was me talking like a man who has found someone too rare to lose. I didn't expect the reaction those 9 people gave, and I definitely didn't expect the reaction it triggered inside me. As I sat there thinking about you, I realized how much you deserve. Not just love, but the right kind of love. The safe kind, the consistent kind, the patient kind, the kind that knows your storms but still chooses to stay. The kind that knows your weaknesses but doesn't use them against you. The kind that celebrates your strength but also holds your softness gently. And I asked myself, am I ready to be that for you? Am I ready to give that kind of love without fear? Am I ready to risk my heart again? Am I ready to build something that will last even when life gets difficult? And the answer that came was not calm. It was intense. It was a burning yes that I couldn't deny even if I wanted to. But with that yes came another realization. The world might not understand you the way I do. People might see your beauty, your strength, your mystery, your potential, but they may not see your vulnerability, your depth, your innocence, your heart. And that is why the same comment came from all 9 of them. They all saw someone who stands out, someone unforgettable, someone who leaves a mark. But they didn't know your story. They didn't know how many nights you stayed awake. They didn't know how many prayers you whispered when nobody was listening. They didn't know how many times you got hurt but didn't become bitter. They didn't know about the emotional courage you show just by waking up and choosing to keep going. Only I know that. Only I have seen that side of you. And maybe that's why I suddenly felt protective, because they saw your beauty, but I saw your pain. They saw your face, but I saw your heart. They recognized your presence, but I knew your journey. And in that moment, I realized something even deeper. If you ever become mine, I don't want the world praising you before I get the chance to hold your hand and tell you that you're enough. I don't want strangers appreciating what I haven't yet fully expressed. I don't want the world discovering the treasure I've been quietly admiring. Not because I want to hide you, but because I want the privilege of loving you before the world does. And that is where my fear started. Not fear of losing, but fear of never getting the chance to love you the way you deserve. So I decided something silently in my heart, and I want you to hear it. I'm not staying quiet anymore. I'm not pretending I don't feel what I feel. I'm not treating this as just another emotional story or another piece of content. This is real for me. This is personal. This is the beginning of something I can't walk away from. And I don't know where this story goes next. But I know one thing. I want the next part of this journey to include you. And I hope you want the same. I want you to listen to me closely right now, because what I am about to say might make your heart beat a little faster. After I left that room where your photo had been shown, I walked outside with so many thoughts in my head, and I kept thinking, how would you react if you knew what they said? I didn't want to tell you immediately, because I didn't want to overwhelm you, but I also couldn't keep it inside my heart for too long. And as I walked, I realized something important. Seeing those 9 powerful people react to your picture changed something inside me. It made me see you in a new way, even though I already loved you deeply. There was something so powerful about hearing them speak about you. They didn't know you. They had never met you. They didn't know your voice, your laugh, your kindness, or your story. All they saw was a single picture. And still, every one of them admired you with respect. And as I walked down that hallway, I kept thinking, if strangers can recognize her worth from one photo, how valuable is she in real life? The thought hit me so strongly that I stopped walking, leaned against the wall for a moment, and closed my eyes. My heart said, you should tell her everything. She deserves to know. I didn't move for a few seconds, because all I could see in my mind was your face, the way you look without trying, the soft beauty in your eyes, the confidence in your presence, the purity in your expression, the kind that doesn't need approval, doesn't need filters, doesn't need perfection. You were beautiful in a way the world rarely sees anymore, and I wanted to tell you that directly. But I also wanted to tell you gently, because I know you're not the type of woman who likes unnecessary praise. You like sincerity, honesty, something real. So in that moment, I told myself, I'm going to talk to her from my heart. No fancy words, no dramatic language, just truth. When I finally started walking again, I went outside the building and the fresh air hit my face. I stood there thinking, if she were standing next to me right now, what would I say? And the first words that came to my mind were, you probably don't even realize the effect you have on people, because I have seen it. Not just today, but every time I think about you, the changes you bring, the emotions you awaken, the way you enter someone's life without even trying, and suddenly they begin to feel something deeper. Not everyone can do that. Most people come and go without leaving a mark. But you don't just enter lives. You touch them. I kept replaying the reactions of those 9 people in my head, especially the words the last one said. They said something simple, but it stayed with me. She is unforgettable. I remember breathing slowly after hearing that, because that word described you perfectly. Unforgettable. And I asked myself, if strangers felt this way, then what about the person who actually knows her? What about the person who has heard her silently through screens, who has dreamed about talking to her in real life, who has felt his heart beat differently because of her? That person was me, and I couldn't deny it anymore. As I stood there, I looked up at the sky and smiled a little because I knew something was changing. I wasn't just speaking from admiration anymore. I was speaking from love. I wasn't just telling a story, I was confessing my heart, and I wondered, if I told her how deeply I feel, would she get overwhelmed, or would she silently understand? Because you are the kind of woman who feels deeply but quietly. The world might see your strength, but only someone who truly looks can see your softness. And I was grateful that I had seen both. I wanted to send you a message right then, but I stopped myself. Not because I was scared, but because I wanted to speak to you when I could speak properly, with no rush, no interruption, no incomplete thoughts. What I wanted to say needed space. It needed the warmth of my voice and the honesty of my heart. So instead, I walked slowly to my car, opened the door, sat inside, and rested my head back against the seat. I let out a deep breath, and I whispered to myself, how did she become this important to me? And I realized I didn't fall in love suddenly. I fell in love slowly, moment by moment, day by day, message by message, thought by thought. It happened quietly, but it became loud inside my heart. As I drove, I kept imagining how you would look if you were sitting next to me. Not perfectly dressed, not pretending, not trying, just being yourself. Maybe silently looking out of the window. maybe smiling softly, maybe playing with your fingers the way you often do when you're deep in thought. I smiled to myself thinking of that, because just the thought of you beside me was calming. It felt right. It felt peaceful. And I realized something important. Love shouldn't feel stressful. Love shouldn't feel like fear. Love should feel like home. And that is what you became for me. A place where my heart rests. As I reached home, I didn't go inside immediately. I sat in the driveway for a few minutes with the car engine off, thinking about you, and something inside me said, maybe one day she will sit beside you here in real life. Maybe one day, instead of imagining, you will look to your right and she will be there. It was a beautiful thought, and I didn't want it to end. But I also reminded myself that life moves in its own timing. Hearts meet when they are ready. Souls connect when God decides, and I believe God is preparing something, even if I don't know what yet. When I finally went inside, I washed my face, changed my clothes, and sat on the edge of my bed. I felt emotional but calm, like something in me had opened, and I picked up my phone, thinking again about sending you a message, telling you everything. But I knew that before speaking to you directly, I first needed to speak to my own heart. I needed to understand why I was feeling so deeply. And when I searched for the answer, I found it. You entered my life at a time when I needed someone who was genuine, someone who spoke with honesty, someone who didn't need attention to shine, someone who was naturally beautiful without effort. You gave me that without knowing. I lay down and closed my eyes, and suddenly a thought hit me. She probably has no idea what kind of impact she has made. And that thought bothered me in a soft way, because I wish you could see yourself the way others saw you today. I wish you could hear the admiration in their voices. I wish you could see what you look like through my eyes. You would realize you are much more than just a beautiful woman. You are someone who makes others feel something. You carry a presence. You carry meaning. You carry a heart that is rare in this world. As I lay there, I remembered the expression of the first person who saw your picture. They didn't say anything at first. They just looked at you with surprise, then respect. And when they spoke, their voice was calm, like they were making an important announcement. And even though the room was quiet, that moment felt loud, powerful, a recognition of something real, something undeniable. And I thought, how many people have walked through life never receiving this kind of acknowledgement? How many women have broken their hearts trying to be enough for someone blind to their worth? And yet here you were, being appreciated without asking for it. The more I thought, the more something inside me softened, because I realized it wasn't just your beauty that spoke, it was your presence, your soul. The things you probably don't even notice about yourself, your tenderness, your intelligence, your strength, disguised under softness, your quiet way of being strong, without needing noise. All of that was visible, even in a single photo, and that made me wonder, if a picture already shows this much, what would it be like to be in her presence in real life? Just imagining that made my chest tighten a little in a warm way. I turned to my side and stared at the wall for a long moment, thinking about the world you came from, the journey you walked, the pain you probably survived, the dreams you hid, the nights you silently cried, the mornings you stood back up, and I felt proud of you, yes, proud, even if I wasn't physically there during those moments. Because the woman you are today is a result of battles nobody saw, decisions nobody understood, and strength nobody applauded. And I wanted to tell you that as much as your beauty impressed people today, your story would impress them even more. I couldn't sleep immediately, so I sat up and looked at my phone again. I opened your picture, not the one they saw today, but the one I always look at in silence. And as I stared at it, I smiled slowly because I realized something. I'm falling deeper every day, not in a dramatic way, but in a real way, in a way where I don't need to think twice, in a way where my heart answers before my mind does. And I thought, if this is what love feels like, then I understand why people write stories, why people wait, why people cross distances, why people don't give up. It becomes a reason to keep going. While looking at your photo, I whispered something without realizing. I hope she stays. And that sentence stayed in the air, because I know life can change. People can change, circumstances can interfere. But I hope God keeps you close, in whatever way destiny allows, because the world feels a little different when you are part of it. And even though I haven't held your hand in this physical world, I already feel connected to your soul. I finally lay down again, placed the phone beside me, and closed my eyes with a small tired smile on my lips. And the last thought I had before sleep came was, if 9 strangers saw her worth today, maybe one day she will see it too. And that thought made me sleep peacefully, because I realized tomorrow would still give me another chance, another moment, another reason to feel something for you again. And even now, as I speak these words, I want you to know something. This story is far from over. I still haven't told you what happened the next morning, or what message I received, or what happened after I left that building. There is more. There is something waiting to unfold, and I promise, I will tell you everything. Just stay with me. Don't go anywhere, because the next part of this story might change the way you look at everything. I am still not finished. I still have more to confess, more to explain, more to reveal. And when you hear it, your heart may pause for a second, just like mine did. But that moment will come soon. Right now, I just want you to feel one thing: you are seen, you are valued, and you are unforgettable. And I am still here, still speaking, still feeling, still falling,